because there's no coming back from this, right? They are aiding and abetting child predators.
They leveraged their audiences to try to convince them that they need to vote for Donald Trump. We are talking about Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Luke Rudkowski, Clint Russell, Russell Brand, Charlie Kirk, Dave Rubin, the redheaded libertarian, Jeremy from the Quartering, who we'll listen to right here with Luke Rudkowski, Salty Cracker, we're going to listen to this later, Styx Hexenhammer, Dave Smith, Joe Rogan, the list goes on. But these people used their audiences to convince you that Donald Trump would be different, that his administration would be interested in meting out justice, that the victims on the Epstein client list would be brought to justice, swift justice. And now they're telling us there is no Epstein client list. And all these people we warned not to promote Donald Trump and his administration, who will do the same old things that the Joe Biden administration did, or the Clinton administration did, or the Obama administration did, racking up the debt. I mean, if you only knew one thing about Donald Trump, and that's that he was bailed out back in the 1990s by Rothschilds Inc. And the employee for Rothschilds Inc. was Wilbur Ross. And then 25 years later, when Trump becomes president, when he is appointed, when he is selected, not elected as president, he makes that same Rothschilds Inc. employee, Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary. If that doesn't tell you everything that you need to know about they're in the big club and you aren't, and they're going to operate their club like they always did, then nothing's going to wake you up. So now we have Jeremy from the Quartering speaking with Luke Rudkowski about the breaking news that there is no Epstein client list. And if there is no Epstein client list, then that means Ghislaine Maxwell, somebody needs to go to her prison door, put a key in the lock, turn it, and let her go free. But listen to these guys. We've warned you about them. We're talking, when I say we, I'm talking about the Derek Bros of this world. I'm talking about the Last American Vagabond, Ryan Christian over there, and Whitney Webb. People like that have warned others about the fact that these guys sure appear to be grifting charlatans. I mean, you've got Jeremy from the Quartering right here. I don't know if you could see this. He's got a Trump 2028 sticker sitting on the back of his desk. This is how sold out these people are. No interest or thirst for the truth, completely lying to their audiences for whatever reason. I don't know what their motives are, but I can tell you it's like the blind leading the blind. Listen to this.
Yeah, but then release Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell should be out. She should be out and about. Like, if the official version of events, like the FBI is purporting it's to be, like if I'm Maxwell's lawyer, I'm going to Marie Comey right now, and I'm like, hey. Not guilty. Get her out. The FBI says there was no client.
They literally said
operation.
it. Yeah.
There's nothing to see here. Let's go. Get her out.
Well, let's go into...
I mean, Donald Trump did wish Ghislaine Maxwell well. If you remember that. Everyone was kind of perplexed. Everyone was kind of like, why is he wishing her well?
Gosh, I wonder why he would wish Ghislaine Maxwell well. It probably doesn't have anything to do with him being best buds with Jeffrey Epstein for 15 frickin' years. Terrific guy. Likes him a little young. I mean, all the signs were there. All the evidence was there. That people still listen to people like this is a mind blower, an absolute mind blower. Vote for Donald Trump. They're going to get something different. They're not going to work for the Zio International Banking Cartel. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't carve out for ourselves freedom. This is why we don't have a sound money system. This is why the CBDCs are going to be pushed on this. This is why we give $3.8 billion a year to Israel and billions upon billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in foreign aid every year, while we have 500,000, 650,000 homeless Americans every single night of the week. This is why. Because people like this who told you, oh yeah, we want to support Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. They're going to go in there in the FBI and they're going to shake things up. They're going to run things differently. Oh, really? The same Kash Patel and Dan Bongino who told you, man, don't let them tell you a lie about Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, they say, didn't kill himself. And now they're saying, oh, yep, he sure did. Yeah, he sure did. You can believe us. We're from the government. You can take our word for it.
Yeah.
That was so confusing. But now I think we get to understand what's really going
Trump
on here,
was-
and it's very disappointing.
Now you understand what's going on? No, you still really don't. Because the guy you're talking to has a Trump 2028 sticker behind him while he's conducting his live stream podcast.
Trump was definitely in the circle.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he was banging underage girls, but he was definitely there. He was in the circle. He was doing business with Jeffrey Epstein.
He was there. He was in the circle. He was doing business with Jeffrey Epstein. He was one of the insiders. He was in the big club, and we're not. Go for Trump 2028. This is cognitive dissonance playing out before your very eyes.
A lot of people were. Matthew says we need to stop trying to save the world when we have hurt kids and protect child hunters for other countries. Yeah, I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell.
There's breaking news right now. The DOJ has announced that they consider the Jeffrey Epstein case now closed, and no further documents will be released.
You shouldn't be laughing, Luke Rudowski. You approved of this. This is happening with your support, with your vote. You too, Jeremy. You too, Tim Pool and Dave Rubin and Joe Rogan and Clint Russell and Russell Brand and Styx Hexenhammer. This is all happening with your approval. You condoned this DOJ. You condoned it with your vote for Trump.
Oh my God.
Oh, goodness. And, hey, man,
I don't know. Maybe that's a Duper's Delight laugh. I don't know. I don't know what you're laughing at, Luke. This is all happening with your consent.
called it. We called it.
We called. Oh my God. We called it. We called it. You promoted Kash Patel, Luke. You guys promoted Dan Bongino and Trump and his administration, whoever he would appoint.
If you remember, we were saying you're not getting the files.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know,
Once Pam started her nonsense, it was pretty clear that it was over. Well, my question is, Luke, okay, an official start to the segment. For those that didn't see over the weekend, there was a leaked memo that there was some question whether or not it was real. But I think like everything the DOJ has said and done since that leak has indicated that it was real. It said
it looks like we're getting some explanation. I'm going to send you a video in the private chat.
Yeah, okay.
Because it looks like the White House spokesperson is talking about it right now
Caroline
as we're
Leavitt.
speaking.
Okay. Yeah, send it over.
And she's explaining it in some kind of cockamamie backwards way, trying to explain this Pam Bondi comment saying the documents are on my desk.
Oh, I know.
And then it's like there's no documents, and now she's saying, oh, she was just talking about the entirety of the paperwork. I'm like, what?
She
What?
also literally said the
I just sent you
words.
clip.
I got it. She said the words client list. That's what Pam Bondi said. She said, I have the client list on my desk. Let's go to this clip. It is extraordinarily frustrating.
Yeah, no one's buying this. And this is the tarnished Trump administration that there's no going back from this. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
What's extraordinarily frustrating and maddening is that you people continue to promote the same statist ideologies that have polluted the wells of freedom for a long time in America. The same exact one. No, it'll be different this time crowd.
Sure. Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said
that
in
Ducey?
that interview, which was on your network, on Fox
I've
News.
got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what.
Including the client list.
the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat.
They're more than committed to make sure that criminals stay behind desks called Resolute at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's what the FBI is interested in. That's what the FBI director and the deputy director, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino are interested in doing, is protecting the president of the United States. That's what's going on here. And Luke Rudkowski and Jeremy and Tim Pool and all these people with massive audiences wanted you to vote for the guy who is being protected from what looks like a major scandal by the FBI and the DOJ.
Which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United
Oh, that just, she immediately went to
Yep. It's a pivot.
over here. Well, Pam Bondi, which was it? Which was it, Pam? Which is true, Pam?
We all did. And the FBI handed over a couple hundred pages of documents. But, you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents.
If you see that in the text above, March, Pam Bondi says a truckload of Epstein files just arrived. Thousands of pages. FBI is reviewing them. And in July, the DOJ says there is no client list. There is suicide and the case is closed.
Documents were being kept. Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m. Thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Kash is also, now that we have Kash here, it's a game changer, of course, and Kash is going to Director Patel.
Game has not changed. The rules have not changed. The elites are still being protected, and they will continue to be protected because it's not an election process. It's a C-election process, and the President of the United States is nothing more, nothing less than a figurehead puppet for the corporate and banking elites.
Is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents.
Okay, I want to be clear because I think people got frustrated because they were expecting more. You were expecting more, and you didn't find out less than 24 hours before the release. You got a whistleblower that confirmed that there were way more documents that they were supposed to turn over, and then you found out just before that.
You mean the documents that no longer exist?
Well, sure.
On a case that is now closed?
And you're looking at these documents going, these aren't all the Epstein files. You know, there were flight logs, there were names and victims' names. And we're going, where's the rest of the stuff? And that's what the FBI had turned over to us. And so a source said, whoa, all this evidence is sitting in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the...
A truckload, Luke.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of documents.
This is unrelated video I had bookmarked. I don't know why it was bookmarked, but...
I think Hannah sent it to us, right?
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, defense of Israel.
What is that?
I don't...
Cause is dear to your heart. The first thing that didn't come to the current deputy director for the FBI, Dan Bongino, the first thing that didn't come to his mind was America is near and dear to my heart. He has to say Israel.
I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that...
Yeah, totally unrelated.
I don't...
Totally unrelated.
I don't know why everyone keeps sending me these. I don't know what people...
These guys know. These guys know that Trump is on the hook for Israel, and they continue to throw their support behind this man, knowing he's a complete fraud.
People keep sending these videos like this.
About a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share it, but well, the short story, but not who they are. It says, you know, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm
People in the Middle East. Gosh, I wonder who that could be.
like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that. That he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset, meaning...
By the way, when they say Middle East, they don't mean Kuwait. You know, I don't know.
Hey. It could be those pesky Iranians.
It could be the Iranians again.
Those
Yeah,
sandal-wearing Iranians, they're up to no good, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all unrelated video clips.
And what I think is hilarious about this is that he's going over the X feed of Anomaly, who was also a diehard Trump supporter. Unbelievable that these people haven't so discredited themselves, because it's clear that they still have audiences, is astounding.
They're up to no good, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all unrelated video clips. I mean, unrelated video or unrelated photo here. You know.
But it gets worse, because you were just playing Pam Bondi on Fox News, right? She also talked about how any person on this list has, quote, no legal basis to try to get their names out of these documents. So she was even in greater detail talking about these documents, individuals named in these documents. I just sent you the clip too. Kind of connects the dots on what in the world's going on here. And again, all the credibility is just shattered from all these individuals. And I think the big conversation piece that needs to happen here, because a lot of people are like, but no, it's the past administration that destroyed it. I'm like, then say that.
Why aren't they saying that? Yeah, that's very...
Because that's not the case, because they're involved in the...
Look at this. This is a retweet by Luke Rudkowski that says, who the hell is this person talking about Pam Bondi, the attorney general for the Trump administration? It says Pam Bondi talked about how Jeffrey Epstein earlier this year, saying anyone on the documents who's trying to keep their name private has, quote, no legal basis to do so. Anyone on the documents? You mean the documents you are now saying don't exist?
Cover up, and the orders are coming from top down. Okay, so that's the reality of the situation that a lot of people are having a hard time facing. But that's the truth, and that's the sad truth of the world now.
Jeremy, Luke, I got a question for you. Why should anybody believe what you're saying right now? When you, especially you right now, Jeremy, continue to support Trump, including having a stupid sticker behind you, Trump 2028.
Why AG Garland and the Justice Department are so quiet on this tonight. You know, they're out there labeling parents domestic terrorists, yet they're saying nothing about this. And these documents were so slow to come out. Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar business in this country, and Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years where she belongs. And if people in that report are still trying to keep their names private, Sean, they have no legal basis to do so unless they're a child, a victim, or a cooperating defendant by some chance against some potential case against Ghislaine Maxwell. And I think Mark Garagos.
Jeremy, what about the poor victims? As Kash Patel and Pam Bondi told us, we're looking out for the victims.
Free the milkers. Free the milkers, Luke. Luke, free.
No, but the victims. The poor victims, as Kash Patel and Pam Bondi were telling us, we have to secure the documents to make sure there's no victims named in them. Now we're being told there's no documents.
There's no documents. Well,
and then there's a minute missing in the new video that was just released.
I saw that.
Yeah, let me show you this. There is a minute missing, and apparently, according to the Justice Department website, this is from justice.gov. Check this out. We'll watch this. This right here is just a 14-second clip. Let me get out of the way. I'm going to play the clip from the beginning. It starts on August 9th, 2019, the night that this was supposed to have happened to. Okay, so look, you got 11, 58, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Oh, it's now 12:01. So it's a minute. It's about a minute and 3 seconds. A minute and 3 seconds are missing from the 11-hour video where the camera is fixed on Jeffrey Epstein's cell, supposedly, and mysteriously a minute is taken out of this, which makes them look even worse. Where is that minute? What happened within this minute? 57, 58, jump right there. A minute and 2.5 seconds is missing from the 11-hour video. It says video timestamp 4 hour and 17 minute and 51 second on the video timestamp. Says exactly 2 minutes and 29 seconds after the surveillance footage mysteriously skips the entire 11:59 p.m. minute. A large black male dressed as a guard is seen trotting up the stairs, appearing in a hurry. He picks up the phone as if asking to be let in, reaches the door handle as though expecting it to open, and then finally pulls out his keys to unlock the door to cell room 46. What happened in that minute, Pam? Cash? Dan? What happened?
Hour video, and there's a minute fucking missing in there.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
They
How is
released
this
that.
possible?
There's a minute missing, which is more than enough time to enter and exit the cell. Dan, why? You know, and it's not all on Dan. Really, I'm fine openly calling for Pam Bondi to step down immediately.
Why aren't you calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump? It's somebody else's fault. It's not Donald Trump's. Donald Trump appointed Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. He's the reason we got a Dan Bongino. He's the reason we've got to cover up. But it's always somebody else's fault with these guys.
She either lied when she said that they had a truckload of files, or she's lying now. Either one's good enough for her to not be the Attorney General.
If you're aiding and abetting child predators, done. You're done with me. All right?
Right.
If you come to me, and let's just say I'm in a hypothetical position of power. I'm in the Trump administration. Trump or someone above me comes to me and says, listen, you're going to help these pedos out there who are still continuing to hurt children. You're going to help them, and you're going to make sure that they don't get held responsible for their actions so they can continue to hurt children. I would be like, get the F out of my face. Hell no. I resign myself. I quit now, and I'm whistleblowing.
But whoever's saying that, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, shouldn't just be fired. They shouldn't just step down. Shouldn't they be jailed, Luke? Along with their boss? Shouldn't they all go to jail?
None of these people are doing that. All of them need to resign. All of them now.
Resign? Resign? They should be jailed.
Because there's no coming back from this, right? They are aiding and abetting child predators.
But they should just resign. That's all. This is lunacy.
The truth. You know, and that's a sick, twisted truth.
It's hard to deny that. And I do think that, like, Pam Bondi really has to step down. She is the one that's most exposed herself here, saying, you know, I have the client list. I have the files. And then now she's like, well, there are no files. She did like this Weasley thing where she said, well, I have the files, but every file is C-scam. That's what she said. Every single file is C-scam.
And what's that called, Jeremy? Plausible deniability.
And then she said, we can't release it because we got to make sure that the victims are redacted from it.
Right, but who's victimizing them then? Who else is in the video?
Exactly.
And redacted from what? From a list that has a whole lot of information about a whole lot of high-powered, well-connected, sick predators. And Pam Bondi is covering it up. And Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are helping her cover it up.
Thousands of videos. We're watching.
And Donald Trump knows they're covering it up. And these people aren't saying anything against Donald Trump.
Watching thousands of videos right now. And now, case closed. Case shut.
Yeah.
No more documents, no more videos. Nothing. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, this is another layer of just, like, black pill that I think the vast majority of people are just not ready for.
How is any of this a surprise? Especially when you've had people like Derek Bros and Whitney Webb, well-researched information about everything Jeffrey Epstein was involved in. When you have somebody like Ryan Christian from The Last American Vagabond or James Corbett or any number of people who warned these frickin', I hate to use the word grifter. I want to reserve it only for those who are, but they are the ones who promoted the current administration. And then you have this guy right here. This is Salty Cracker. 100% diehard in the tank fan for Donald Trump.
Over here. This is wild. Oh, thank you guys. What was AP from the Hills? Whee! Lefty commies and fuck Pam Bondi and the DOJ. Listen, these people all talked a good game. They all talked a good game. Now, it's up to them to get out of the way. Get out of the way. We're going to drag you politically. We're going to drag you. And anybody running protection for this fucking clandestine fucking goofball on X, all these fucking people who are like, listen.
There's somebody else who should be dragged, a Salty Cracker. It's you. I think this is Salty Cracker's website, if I'm not mistaken. And if it is, look what he's got down here in the lower right-hand corner. Welcome to the community of choice for President Donald J. Trump. Be advised, this community is for serious supporters of President Trump. We have discussions, memes, AMAs, and more. We are not politically correct. I think this may be the website, the Salty Cracker website. And even if it isn't, Salty Cracker is a diehard fan of Donald Trump. And why would you support somebody who instituted an administration that is going to cover for the criminal activities of Jeffrey Epstein and all the people that dark, high-powered people that he was involved in?
We told you months ago.
Why are they saying this? We told you months. You should have known that Donald Trump is the snake that he said he was. And you wouldn't listen to us because you yourself are involved in cognitive dissonance. You yourself knew the way you make bank is to play the left, either the left side or the right side of the left versus right paradigm lie. And you milked it for every drop you could, Salty Cracker and Sticks, Hex, and Hammer and Joe Rogan and all these people out here. Because you're too scared to take the position of, you know what? I am anti-statist and pro-freedom. And anybody who comes against that is your enemy.
Your fucking job. Do your job. If it's fifth dimensional chess, let it be fifth dimensional chess. Do your fucking job.
I love how they're pretending to be virtuous now.
Stop.
As they continue to support the guy who the DOJ and the FBI is covering for.
Stop doing interviews and do your fucking job. They refused. Dan, Cash, Pam Blondie, they've all continued to do interviews. They continue to run their mouth and they continue to talk and not bring forward any fucking action. So it's not my problem anymore.
It's totally your problem because with your vote and exploiting your audience, you told a whole lot of people that if you vote for Donald J. Trump, things are going to be different.
We're dragging you. You should have shut the fuck up because now I've got multiple videos of you guys saying completely contradictory things. So any of you guys out there,
just like we have multiple videos of you saying contradictory things. Donald Trump is going to make America great. Oh, is he? How do you make America great while you're trashing the dollar, inflating the money supply, giving huge bonuses to the military industrial complex and the defense contractors and giving over boatloads of money to Israel? How do you do that?
Who are all upset and you love Pam Blondie, and you love Cash Money, and you love Dan Bongino, and you love these guys so much, before you get upset with me, which you're welcome to do, you should be upset with them.
Well, shouldn't we be upset with you who supported the Pam Blondies and the Trump administration and the Cash Patels and the Dan Bonginos of this world?
Because they've done a fuck ton of interviews, and they said completely contradictory shit. So be mad at them because they either lied back then or they're lying now. Because you can't have fucking both, man. You can't have both.
That's where we're at with CONinc. And I just noticed over here when Jeremy from the Quartering and Luke Radowski were talking, I just noticed over here that Alex Jones is live. Internet explodes as FBI claims, I guess it would say, that the client list doesn't exist. Maybe we'll do a separate video on this. This ran too long. Guys, if you like these videos and this content and the information that's being sent out here, the only thing that I ask of you is just like this video and share this video with everybody you know. This is a very small channel. We're making a very small dent, but we are setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. This is second verse, same as the first. The state is always going to be that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everybody else. And there's always going to be people like this right here. They're going to be cashing in on that and exploiting their gullible audiences. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.